welcome to Dream It, Dare It, Do It, and Live the Life You Want. Today, I am with my friend Rob. Hey, Rob. Oh, he was coughing.
What's up?
So this week, guys, is actually my birthday week.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Dun-dun.
So I'm turning 52 on January 20th. And I usually, have a birthday week, but because it's pandemic and I can't go out and we've got curfew and all of this, I'm just going to be playing, online with people. And this week, I wanted to talk to Rob because Rob is playing, he will be playing, but he's having a new course that's coming out that's called Alignment. And Rob and I have been working together for a little while now, and we're both aligned on this. See what I did there?
Yeah, I like that.
So, Rob, tell us a little bit more for everybody that's listening. Tell us a little bit more about your alignment class. What brought you to create this?
A bunch of different things, but a story that particularly sticks out that may help explain it is kind of thinking back. I just came from visiting where I grew up, during the holiday time. And on the end of that trip, I stopped down to see my daughters, and I end up going back to the military base and doing a few things. And I haven't done that since I retired like 5 years ago. And so it was like watching the confidence and watching the military kind of do their thing again. And I got to feeling like real good, got very, very patriotic, so to speak. And I ended up buying my retirement ring. I don't have it on, but I ended up buying my retirement ring, that says I completed 20 years of service. And then on the flight back home, I was just thinking about my time there. And these things started highlighting themselves. Like, for instance, when they teach us in weapons proficiency course, when they teach us to hit the target, there are certain things you have to do or else you're always going to miss. It's like you have to align your front sights and your rear sights. And it doesn't matter the capability of the weapon. You'll always miss the target if it's not properly aligned. And it was like, why don't I talk about that? It's just like, that's a perfect example of, not that I want people out there shooting people in a sense, but understanding. And then when I look back at my own life, honestly, there are a few things that fell into place that I remember hindsight now that did make the term I'll use is progression or deepening or expansiveness of my life to grow. Certain things did fall into place. That kind of was like a domino effect, so to speak, or a clicking into place that made things easier. And so I think it's something to that. And that's what I want to explore for these 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think that I agree. When you're aligned, makes things easier.
Yeah.
Right. I guess in this case, we're talking about knowing ourselves and being aligned with who we are and what we want to do and how we want to do it. Yeah. So, and
it's funny. I love that. I love the way you said that about us, because again, using that same example, same metaphor, something just popped back into my head. And I'm going to ask you, I know you're not familiar with guns, but I want you to just take a guess, just to humor me for this. If you were having to shoot a weapon at a paper target, what do you think would be the most important thing to look at?
The target?
Okay. I would say, unless you have weapons training, most people will say that.
Okay.
That makes most sense. When you're shooting a weapon, if you see the target clearly, you're probably going to miss. What you're supposed to see clearly is the front sight of the weapon, because that's telling you exactly where it's going to go. So if you don't see the front sight clearly, you don't know where the round is going. So it's almost like your backdrop, the target is just blurry. You just see the need to see the mass of the target behind. What needs to be very clear is that front sight, because that's the part you control. That's us. It's like to hit something on target has nothing to do with the target. It's about what you control. It's your part. It's where you're looking. And that just popped in my head when you say about us and getting a line. How, yeah, even with that, it's the front sight we're supposed to be looking at. You know, the be very clear on your goal or your direction of travel or what it is you're trying to create. Get that part. Be clear into that. But once that gets bright, so clear, that brightness is always going to illuminate. It's always going to be there for you. Now it's about, you know, as we would say, look at that front sight, which is metaphorically saying the journey. Look at what's in front of us.
Yeah.
You know, every now and then, yeah, you'll have to adjust. And okay, I still see my light in front of me. But everything about getting to that spot is going to happen in between that space. And so I just really, really started seeing that on the way home, and have been so excited about exploring it.
Mm. So what are the things that you're going to be talking about?
The starting point I would like. I did list a few things I wanted to talk about, but because it's a group program, I still would throw it out in the beginning and see what resonates and see the direction we want to go together. But what I feel recentered or reset for me, my second chance, was identifying what my limiting factors were. What was really limiting me from having the life that I want? And I'd started coming up with some of those. And lo and behold, as I got a deeper understanding, I was realizing all of those limiting factors was tied to one thing: a misunderstanding of who I was. So I need to clear that up. Okay, well, in clearing that up, that took me into finding out that the system isn't broken. The system is actually working the way it's supposed to be. I just don't understand it. Mm-hmm. So it didn't scare me anymore because, okay, well, now I just need to get understanding of the system. So from there, in understanding the system more, I started finding my voice. And in finding my voice, I was able to align key factors, and, you know, and now I'm just starting to show up. But I could see, and I'm making this up. You know, I want to be very, very clear about that. I'm making this up. I don't want it to come off as a strategy, more of a template of all I'm saying is I scrapped, started over from the inside, and walked out.
Yeah.
I mean, in short, that's all I'm saying. The alignment is just starting from the inside out, period.
Yeah, it's like most courses that we take, that I've taken anyways, and I'm sure that anybody listening will totally agree with me. You know, they have these steps. Okay, now you're going to do this first, and then you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this first, and it's going to work. And for some people it may, you know, and for some people it may for a certain period of time, and for some people it's just not going to work. And I think that when we can look for ourselves and see, does this work for me? Does this work for me? Look at the step, listen to it, try it on if you want to try it on. But if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But I think that it's knowing who you are and what you value. And you know, I've seen it many a times for myself where there are things that I know inherently that I'm a no, or I'm a yes, this is going to work, and I go against it. Right? I go against it because I think it should be different. And that's when I'm unaligned. And I've noticed for myself that when I'm aligned, yeah, it's so much easier. And my life has been much easier in the past few years because of that,
Uh,
you know? So, and I look at my clients, like, I've been working with a lot of people who, and I'm working the business side of it. I'm helping people setting up their business and doing what they want to do. And I can see how, they're looking at a goal and they're saying, I want to go there. And then we start talking, and then they make up something and they make up something that stops them, and then they change their direction to go somewhere else that they think would be better because of this thing, right? So what do you think of obstacles? Like, what do you see about that? Like, I was thinking of you're aiming at a target with a gun. And I was like, okay. And sometimes, like, yeah, you're looking and you can't see the aim. And then sometimes you just have to bend down and you can
gotta
see it.
move. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Been watching TV.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I can see, so there's an obstacle, and then you can still aim at the target and just
Mhm.
find a way around the obstacle,
Yeah.
but keep
Wow.
your target. Um, as opposed to like what I was talking about, where there's a target, they see an obstacle and they say, well, screw the target, let me go into another target.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think
But
about that?
using the same, I love it. Using the same metaphor. Um, what makes a shooter good, so to speak, other than hitting the target? It's the different platforms it can shoot from. So, can most shooting stances are firmly planted feet, channel your breathing, hold muscles tight. But typically, if you're shooting, that's never going to exist where you get a chance to breathe. Again, unless you're at the range practicing. But if you are in something where you're going to be trying to save your life or save others, calm breathing is not part of the process at that point, So what makes a shooter is the one who could shoot from the different platforms, the one who can have a high breath and still hit a target, the one who can lay down, move this. But there's a factor, again, that ties them all, and that's the trust of the mechanics. Trusting it. Like, everything, again, starts from that point. And for instance, I told this story. We just had the grounding immersion course thing. And I was telling this story about trust. And what had happened was we were in a country, and there was an attack on our primary route the day before, the route we're supposed to take from where we're sleeping to go visit the ambassador. Somebody blew up a hole on that route. And so we had to make the determination if we were going to travel, but the meeting per our boss was so important, we had to figure it out. We were going. So they decided to use this method where we would fly, a plane would fly with visual capability of seeing us, and it would direct us on where to go to avoid any trouble. So we don't know the route we're driving. We have to listen in the earpieces for the left or right based off the plane or helo, the helicopter. That was the most nerve-wracking motorcade I think I've ever been in, because you're supposed to know where you're going. I'm supposed to have seen these reference points. I got, this makes me feel safe to know this. And it wasn't until after it was over that it dawned on me That had to be the stupidest thing to be thinking, because they could see way more than I could. Like, they could see a problem ahead and divert me in this. And that taught me how to trust the still voice, even when I can't see it. Even when again, that obstacle, like you said, pops up. One, I have to believe I'm making it up. And I'm making it up for a reason that I think is protective for me in a sense. I'm scaring myself, so to speak.
Yeah.
I know that. But I trust the system to also know that's going to fade, that I get to stay in the game. Now, does sometime it fog up a little bit more than others? Yeah. Well, that's when I'll take a break. That's when I'll go have a conversation with somebody, because I tend to fall out of my fogginess when I start having conversations. That's when I'll start editing a podcast and just listen to a conversation, because I'm aware that I'm in my shit, I'm in my head on it.
Yeah.
And so I just really, really trust the system. Right? Like, I really do. Even when I'm driving and it'd be like, take a right.
Yeah.
It's like,
the system
avoid traffic.
The system will reset itself.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not feeding it. And I remember when I first started, seeing that I had a lot of craziness. What helped for me, crazy thinking is talk about my crazy thinking, because I could just feed it and just roll in it and then just grow it. And I mean, it would become physical. I mean, I would, have trouble breathing, and I would get anxiety, and it was just like, and it was just me feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. What helped me personally is when I was able, because in the beginning I wouldn't talk to anybody, right? When I first starting my journey inside understanding my mind, I noticed that I wouldn't speak. I would just keep it in, and it would just fester, and then at one point I would snap. And then I would
nice rhythm,
it would just be, I mean, it would just be, it's like a balloon, like the more you blow on it, it's gonna bust eventually. And then I learned, and then I learned to start talking about it. And then I figured out that if I talk to this person, I'm actually blowing more air. And if I talk to this person just listens and does absolutely nothing with what I do. And so it deflates it instead of blowing it. And so this is what I always suggest to my friends and my customers, just talk about it. Like, because everything happens inside a conversation where you can, if you can just hear it once it comes out of your mouth, first of all, and then you deflate it instead of blowing it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I said it's a difference in hearing and listening for me, right? And what I mean by that is, the reason saying it out loud does something is because when you're doing it in your head, right, that's a different mechanism than your ears. There's no sound or vibration, so your ears aren't, so you aren't hearing it. You're that's happening inside your mind, right? So, but when you hear it, say it out loud, it then has to process.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, now the vibrations, because it's been said with my voice. That's why people like speaking. That's why people, and well, I can't speak for people. That's why I, at a large point of time, attached words, so much meaning to the words, and missed the feeling because of how powerful I was learning the voice was. But when you say it in your head and when you say it out loud, there's a difference.
Yeah, because then you can actually hear the bullshit.
yeah.
Like, cause that's what it meant for me. Like, and I remember, I had a period of adjustment because I would talk, and then I would hear the bullshit, and then I would start revving up about how stupid I was for having, so, but like this understanding of the three principles, really, I'm really starting to see the personal thinking, and I'm really starting to see the feeling. You know, Sid would say, don't listen to my words, listen to the feeling. And and I now see the feeling. I can like, and it's so funny because I have a friend, Anna, I'm not saying your name. I have a friend.
That was funny. Wow.
I have a friend who's like, Jasmine, why do you say see? But she used to say that, but now she's like, no, Jasmine, I see. Like,
Yeah.
because like it's not about seeing with the words. It's like just having the sight, the insight of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I think one of the, I think it was Marina that said this, Marina Galan. We were talking to someone asked her to describe herself. And I don't know if it was her quote or a quote she got from someone's, but she said, I see thought. And I was like, I see thought. What? Oh, I see thought. Like the same thing again when I was saying with your ears, right? Like if you close your eyes and visualize anything, if you can close your eyes and visualize and really see any image, then how are you doing that without the use of your eyes? How are you seeing without the use of your eyes? So it's actually possible to see without your eyes. And it was like, oh. And then if I start seeing my thoughts as they go, like you were saying earlier, if I see them without forgetting that I am not them, they aren't me, that one, I can get so scared about them. Two, I don't tend to grab on to as many of them. And three, it becomes kind of comical in a sense when some of the shit goes by. It's like, where the hell did that come from? It's like, it's like, hey, whoa, buddy, what did you? I must have flipped on the news or something. Like,
it's so funny because I was just listening to Mom. Like I've been Netflixing on the weekend, and I've been listening to the show Mom. And inside there, at one point, somebody says, "Where's your mother?" And she says, "My mother's at home. She's too upset. She's having an argument with herself inside her head." And she says, there's two drunks, one heroin addict, and I think there's even a dog. And I just so related. Like sometimes we just sit there and we stew inside with the stuff that's inside our head that we're actually making up.
What's so funny about it is, and we stew in an old mindset. Yeah. Like we actually go back because we've already did it before. Like like the insecure thinking. Like, okay, so you literally just go back and just do it again. You just kind of like you just keep reversing until you go, wait a minute, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? So yeah, I like that.
Right now, that's why I love the now also. I mean, in the 20 some years that I've been doing this kind of work of developing myself and learning who I am, like, I've heard the be in the now, be in the now, and be in the now. I could hear that little annoying voice, but I'm really, and it's so funny because I talked with a few people lately and they're like, oh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing be in the now. And I was just like, but it's for me now, it's just so calming to just go, okay, wait, what's going on right now? Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, right now this is what's going on right now.
That's the grounding. That's the expansion, or as it's to explain, levels of consciousness. That's deepening your level of consciousness.
Yeah.
As they say. And it's funny because when I love all kind of spiritual teachings. Not one for really self-help, but spiritual teachings, anything pointing people back to themselves and things like that. Even most religions, start at love and then get, convoluted after that, but they start with love. So when I think about all of those things, it's kind of like there's that, and then there's the way we try to talk about it or articulate it or explain it. And for me, the three principles have just given me the best way I've ever found of explaining what my experience is like. Right. And so sometimes when I talk, people will relate, and then it'll throw them when I say something like, yeah, that's the three principles. And because they don't understand it as, and we conceptualize things. And so I've been very, very mindful here to say all I'm talking about, period, is if we were talking religiously, this would be you saying God is the creator of the world. And you would say that God gives you an ability, a strength, a resilience to be fruitful in the spirits of God in the world, happy, joy, peace, long suffering, and, things like that. That's a religious, right? Most religious people could go with that. Mm-hmm. If you are a yoga teacher and you believe in the elements, and you get 20 people in a yoga room and you get them to quiet their mind down so they could see something bigger than themselves, to gain a feeling to go out and be peaceful, happy, more joyous in their life. We as 3P practitioners, we have people come in, we sit with them, we hold the space. Their thinking drops. They see the beauty in themselves, which was always there from the very beginning. It ain't like we add to them. Nobody comes to you and you literally add to them. No, it was already there anyway. Already.
Yeah.
They see it. They start having more joy, peace. So I am a 3P practitioner. I do teach mind, thought, consciousness, but I don't want it or to be heard from me as that's the way people get to. I don't know how many ways you can get to truth and understanding. I just know this one has worked best for me. It's the cleanest and the clearest way I can articulate it. It feels good for me. But I can also recognize a pastor helping people do great work and do great things and love it. No compromising of me. And that's the kind of alignment I'm talking about, where I understand your way of doing you is going to be different. I want to align in a way where your way of doing you has no vibration to off tracking me. I actually get to partner with it, collaborate with it, because all I have to understand is the essence of it. You love helping people. You love ending human suffering. I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we play baseball every weekend. Cool. If you can show me how they connect, I'm in. Yeah. I don't care how, everybody's, got their own missions and stuff. It's just like, oh, okay. I really just started seeing it like, if I can get, if the essence of what we're doing is quieting the mind, pointing people to something bigger than themselves, making them aware of their thinking not being real, their system not being broken, making them aware, and then they get to show up better in the world, I'm doing 3P work.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm like, it's getting clearer and clearer that I just want to help people. I just want to help people bring more love into the world. Yeah. I think that there's enough hate.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's and the more people understand this, the more love will grow, and the ripple effect of it all will just be exponential.
I would actually love, I would love people to really just love, like really really sit in love.
Yeah.
Like really just sit in the unconditional love that you're unaware you have yourself because yourself has accepted you all of this whole time, all 50 some years. Your thinking may not have, but you as a being have stood 52 years coming up here. So you've always loved yourself. That's how you got this far. That's what's carried you. Your thinking about yourself hasn't been unconditional love, but taking care of yourself enough to make it to this point, has
and
been.
I think that my problem has been that I've seen the personal thinking that I've had towards myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be that it was true. And now I'm like questioning it, going,
wait a minute. What? Yeah.
Really? Do you really think so?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that's actually, I'm thinking that actually puts a bow on the point I was trying to point to of forgetting that point. Like, you've went through it before, insecure thinking, and you worked your way out of it. So when it shows back up again, you're right. You're supposed to go, wait, it can't be true. Because if it was, I would have been thinking about it consistently from the last time. So it kind of comes in waves. It's like, oh, if I've already shown myself that you're not true, when you come up next time, you're not true then either. Like, it's not like you go come back. Does this one work? You didn't change shirts, bro. It's the same shirt. But do I look better now? No. Do you like this one? No, that's the same ugly t-shirt. Change the t-shirt, I love that.
Okay, Rob, when is the course and how can people subscribe?
Oh, cool. Course starts February 1st, Tuesday morning, 8 a.m., bright and early Pacific time. You can go out to the website. I'm robcook.com. I am ROBCOOK.com and hit course registration, and it'll be right there. Also, I do have some scholarships available. Post information is out there, but follow 3 simple steps. Go out to my YouTube channel and subscribe. 2, like and listen to my newest episode of Settle In with Rob Cook on there. And 3, go to the website, sign up for your free gift, and let me know you did it. Complete those steps, enters you into a chance to win a free scholarship to the alignment course, the 6-week exploration about this inside out understanding.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for being here yet again.
Thank you for inviting me. I love it.
And everybody else, I hope that you've enjoyed this conversation. And I'm going to ask you to just dream it, dare it, do it, and live the life you want. And take care of yourself. Bye.